All right, so now that we've reached 2023, in hindsight, we know that 2013 was kind of a decent year for hip hop, a pretty big year. It had notable albums from Kanye, Jay Z, Eminem, J. Cole, ASAP Rocky, Drake, Pusha T, but it was also a pretty good year for underground artists. And that golden class of the Cole, Kendrick, Drake, they were still kind of making their mark on the game. And so what I want to do is I want to just go through our three favorite projects of that year. It could be mainstream, it could be underground, it could be whatever you want, just whatever you think are either the best or just your most played or your personal best. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off. My first album I got for 2013 is probably actually my most played still to this day. Is Long Live ASAP by
Mm.
ASAP Rocky. I think out of that entire year, I still play that album the most. Even with like Magna Carta, Holy Grail, and Yeezus and Born Sinner and all of that, I
Mhm.
think this album might have aged the best to me. Um, I don't know. I could press play and let it run too. Like that's it's one of those albums where like it may not be the greatest album of all time, but like everything for me, everything hits.
Mhm.
So and then like I think it's Goldie is like the first track, right? The first actual track after the intro. And I was like to me, I was like in the middle of Hit Boy making his mark too. And that beat for Goldie just goes so crazy for me. It's got One Train on it,
Mhm.
which is one of those all-time posse cuts. It's also got. Do y'all remember Ghetto Symphony and Jody
Yeah.
on
To
that
be
album?
honest,
Yeah,
One
you
Train was
don't.
2013. Dang, that was that long ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It don't
Yeah.
seem like it, but that was Rocky's debut album after the
He took
big
over the
mixtape.
world, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I had to go back because I don't know if I remembered it being 2013 because I remember like the big albums. I mean, that was a big album too, but I remember like the Yeezus and the Born Center. I remember those dropping the same day, and that's why like that's what kind of stuck in my mind. I thought Long Live ASAP for a while. I thought it was like 2012, but
Mhm.
I think it was the beginning of 2013. But
Yeah.
yeah, that one is number one for me. And then for my other project, I've got Big Crit King Remembered in Time. That was one of those where I know that's not a lot of people like favorite Crit project, but like and that should just resonated with me. Crit always resonates with me, but
Uh,
yeah. And I
yeah.
remember like leading up to the release or like shortly after the release, he was releasing the vlogs with like him and Ninth Wonder in the studio and him talking about how he like recorded an entire song in like less than 30 minutes and Rhapsody is in there in the studio and like it was just like leading up to it was dope. It was like he was still kind of underground. He hadn't reached that like the outside popularity yet. So it was kind of like Crit was still like in the if you know you know type like lane. So it was still like you feel like you know some shit that everybody else don't know. So like that one resonated with me. And then like Multi Till the Sun Dies still in my rotation. Like that's one of my all time favorite tracks.
Mhm.
Like that song is just that shit just goes for
Yeah.
me. He had a bunch of bangers on there. Um, Definitely not his best out of his discography, but I just feel like it just I don't know. It's up there. But hey, and whenever I hear, especially Multi Till the Sun Die, but whenever I hear that, like it's one of those albums that just take you back to a time. Like I remember just riding in my brother's little busted ass Honda because I was in between cars and like those like long ass trips on the freeway, going
Yeah.
to see my girl and shit. Like it's like one of those albums where it just take you back. It's like I was down bad, but that shit was cool.
And you just shed
Uh
a little baby tear right now. I seen that.
Low key, nah. Yeah. And then my third project, I got Max watching movies with the sound off. So like
Mm.
I was saying with Cole and Ye dropping on the same day, I want to say Mac dropped on that same day too. Like officially, but I think I want to say I don't know if y'all remember, but I think that album leaked early. I think that was still like part of I think watching movies with the sound off leaked, but that's
Leaked
crazy as
out.
shit
Like
back when shit was leaking, huh?
I don't remember that actually.
I don't think
Yeah,
it
you
is.
don't remember it leaking or if it
Mm-mm.
leaked or not? I can't even remember. I have to look that up, but I think I remember hearing it a little bit before it actually dropped.
I feel like around that. I don't think Max shit leak
No,
was it
Cole shit leaked like a couple days
Cole
before.
shit leak, and I know Drake shit leaked.
Yeah, nothing was the same. I think I remember that leaking as well. But I mean, that's cool. But like for me, that was the Mac project that like really convinced me that he was like one of the ones because like Kids was dope. It was Blue Slide Park that was right before it, and I think Macadelic too. I can't remember if Macadelic was before or after.
Did
But
that right? Or Trump
yeah,
with
those
Donald Trump?
that was
That's not
that was
that's
before
the
this one.
album.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, but yeah.
No, that's not on watching movies with the sound off. That's on something else.
No, I think that dropped before watching movies
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
sound.
yeah. That dropped before. So it was like, yeah, like this one, the watching movies with the sound off, that one kind of like made me really believe he was here like to stay. Cause it was like, I don't know, for me personally, it was like I don't know if he really, I didn't know if it was gonna be like one of those long-term deals, you know how it was?
Yeah,
Because he was like he's like having a lot of fun and shit, and then in this one he was like a lot more serious,
yeah,
and like he kind of branched out with his sound too. Um, and then like his creativity just took another step. The song "I Am Who I Am," I think it's "I Am Who I Am" parentheses killing time, but that
yeah,
shit like still to this day, I love playing that in my rotation.
yeah.
Um, oh yeah, he also I wrote this down in the notes too. He had that at the end of Red Dot Music with Action Bronson. He had a Loaded Lux had a round for him. The battle rapper Loaded Lux, he spit a round going at Mac at the end of that. It was like a little skit. That shit was dope to me.
Yeah, and that was around when like I think with that album, that's when I learned like, oh, this nigga plays instruments. Like this nigga can play the bass, he can play guitar, he can
Yeah.
he's producing. Uh what else
He
did
had
he do?
Ab on there as
Yeah,
well. He
bro,
had some
and
dope features. He had Schoolboy and Ab on there. Action Bronson, and then yeah, that Loaded Lux shit was dope to me because that Lux was one of my. I was still into battle rap and shit too back then.
he kind of remind me of like a like
Yeah,
a like similar to like a Noriega in a way of like how Noriega was cool with everybody.
yeah,
Like and he just managed to be have features and do songs and chilled with everybody, had worked with everybody. Like he produced that one shit for Vince Staples too, right?
yeah.
Wasted
He
You
produced.
around the same time.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I love that project.
yeah. That was that, and like you said, like this was the first project where I realized how involved he was with his music too.
Yeah,
And
real.
that's what like that's why like it solidified like yeah he's one of those ones because he was always mentioned in that group of like that golden era, but this is where like he just like put that shit in cement. But yeah, I had another honorable mention too, which was the Run the Jewels one. That was when they put together a collective that's usually overlooked for that year, but that's when they dropped, and that still goes to me too. A lot of people just overlook that. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
I have a high respect for Run the Jewels, but I don't play them as much as I should.
Yeah,
I'm
That
actually
makes
because they're
surprised you said "Run the Jewels" and not like Earl Sweatshirt or something like that.
yeah Earl. I mean Earl. Yeah,
I'm not
Earl's.
even gonna. I'm not even gonna lie.
That year was Doris, right? Was it?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't
Yeah,
think other than like their mainstream stuff, I don't really listen to Run the Jewels like that.
yeah. I mean, they're underground. That's cool. That's
But I
not a
respect him
crazy
so
take.
much. I still respect him
Yeah.
so much. Like it's weird.
But yeah, I still listen to the song. Like I play them, but I have my favorite joints, like 3 or 4 joints from each album that I'll like continue to play, and
Yeah,
then some of them are misses on some of the Run the Jewels projects. But
it's
I just thought it was notable that that was the year that we got the first Run the Jewels project.
Mhm.
it's impressive how you can like give listens to so many artists, bro, and not forget about. Cause I get caught on an album. I got like a nice 5 that I just stick with all year. Your ass, Run the Jewels, Jay-Z, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, motherfucking you be all over the place. Like I low key forgot about Run the Jewels for a little bit. Like oh
Yeah,
shit.
especially in that year too, because that was a big year.
And Eddie, like you said, Earl Sweatshirt.
Hmm.
Uh,
Doors might be like as far as like quality and like rapping, Doors might be the best album like of that year.
what's up,
But
Eddie?
I mean, I don't
nah,
know if it's
it's Eddie's turn anyway.
I
I was
don't know
just
if
talking
it's
about
I mean,
rapping.
I mean
Jesus, I
honestly
mean
like
creatively.
it's like two of the albums you already mentioned that was like uh that was already in my top 2. That's actually the last year I ever bought physical copies of albums cuz I bought Pusha T, My Name Is My Name, and then the
Mhm.
Big Crit album. Those were the last, and like I still have them in the car. So those are the 2 last physical copies of albums that I bought from Best Buy. So I don't know. I put those 2 up there. Obviously, yeah, the Big Crit. The what like but Sean already mentioned the song Multi. That's like not only it's the last song of the album. So for you to like end that is like, man, just crazy to me. And plus, like, he used the M83 sample on that song, so that's probably why like I gravitate towards it so much. So that one, Pusha T, My Name Is My Name. I mean, I don't really got to say much after that. And then I probably have to say Yeezus because that was the beginning of honestly, every time Kanye does something, it just changes the whole rap game. So that album was the beginning. I remember Sean was at my house when we first listened to that album. Um, uh, I, I actually bought that album as well. So I bought that album, I bought all those 3 albums, and that album just itself just revolutionized like the great. Like when Kanye dropped 808 808s, like again, the whole rap game followed suit after that album.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with Yeezus. Like I think the whole rap game in terms of the genre just followed suit after that. So the production, the symphonies, just the beat selection, the auto tune, just all of that. So I'd probably say those 3: Yeezus, Pusha T, My Name Is My Name, and then Big Crit. So
Yeah, that's Jesus is like that. The quality is just so high on that album. It kind of like surpasses everything on that. But I think you mentioned that we were at the house when Yeezus. I think when Cole dropped the lead single for Born Center, which I forget what it was, but he had like a YouTube video in a church or something, and it was like a countdown. I think we watched that shit at your house too.
mhm.
I think yeah, we watched the countdown. It was like to a music video. I forget what song it was, but I'm gonna have to look that up afterwards.
like
But
I'm a born sinner.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just yeah. That
The way
time was a good year, man.
that
the way the way he like rolled out albums was like pretty crazy. But man, it's so hard to do because like you're right, like Long Live ASAP has to be up there. Um, I think I'm probably just like, man, even like I'm forgetting, but did ASAP Ferg drop that year too?
Or did drop that year
yeah.
and went
What album?
crazy.
What album was that?
Um, I don't know, Jason. Can you look that
Jason, look
up?
it up real quick. What album is that?
That was the one um with the big single. It was a
Oh,
big
Trap Lord.
single.
Trap Lord.
Trap
Rap
Lord.
or
Yeah,
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 Trap
yeah.
Lord. Okay.
Yeah, Trap Lord was
Like,
crazy.
so I mean, yeah, like honestly, bro, like Jay-Z's Magna Carta Holy Grail, like I did not like, it just didn't
Yeah.
gravitate to me at all, man. That's
They
like an
forced
album,
shit on us too.
huh?
They like if you had like they low key forced that album on us. Like if you think about like if you got a Samsung, you got the album, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Kind of like they did with U2. Like,
yeah,
they like if you bought the iPhone, it automatically came uploaded on that.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was, holy shit.
But yeah,
I remember
and like think of Acid Rap was that year
Acid
too.
Rap
But
too. I almost put Acid Rap on mine.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah.
that was yeah. Whew.
Yeah. It was a big year, man.
That was his last good album. I'm
I feel
not a
like
big Chance guy though.
Yeah. He had two. To me, he had two like great albums or great projects. But yeah, after that it was just
I like Chance, man. Don't do Chance like that, man.
I
Chance
I'm
like
is
not a
Chance
big
too,
man.
but that don't change the fact his last project was
Y'all
what
mad
was
he
it, the
did that
CD
video commercial?
the CD with the holes in it? That shit was trash.
Yeah, man. Artists, artists gonna have them
It's
periods.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean he's
But
allowed to have a miss.
man. I like the
Yeah,
little freestyle shit he's doing right now.
yeah.
I do like the fact that the uh the album cover to that was a picture that he took with a fan.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just thoughtful, man. I like the thoughtfulness in his approach to everything. Like,
yeah. Seemed like a genuine person.
yeah, that
Yeah.
overpowers
But
music for me.
yeah, I was gonna say with Magna Carta Holy Grail, like I remember leading up to that. And I think was that the year that he had Legends of the Summer with Justin Timberlake?
No,
Yeah. Wait, it was
Bro,
that year?
no, that was his year
it
of suit,
was.
right?
No, it
Nah,
was that year.
he had the Legends of the Summer, and I bought tickets before the album dropped. Because like I was like, this is the year I'm gonna actually go
Let me
see
see.
Jay in person.
Yeah.
Bro, it was a Justin Timberlake concert with like a
Wow.
couple Jay songs. I was so disappointed. So disappointed.
Let's see.
Listening to that suit and tie, hot as fuck. Like,
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
he did do
yep.
public service announcement, and
Legends of the
I was
Summer.
cool with that.
Legends of the
Yeah,
Summer was from July 17th to August 16th, 2013. That was it.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. I
so
want to say I went in August,
that was your first time seeing Jay in concert?
first and only. I
And it
haven't
was
seen him
and
since.
it was strictly Justin Timberlake?
Bro, it was like I want to say 70-30 Justin Timberlake.
So what was the point of that? Wait, why did that concert come about to begin with?
Honestly, I have no clue. I think it was because of the single. What was the single on that
Magna
with Justin
Carta Holy
Timberlake on the
Grail.
hook?
Yeah, the Magna Carta
Yeah,
Holy Grail. So because
yeah.
of that
So
single,
they
they decided to
they
what?
decided to go on tour, which is like it's an odd couple, but
So
like I
it was
had
a
the
money
money at the
grab.
time, so I'm like,
It
I'm
was a
going to
money
see
grab.
Jay. Yeah, it was a
Hey,
complete money grab.
in
it seems
2000,
like a win-win situation too. Like I win, I get to see Jay-Z, my girl get to see Justin Timberlake. Like best of both worlds.
nah, but you know what's funny
And it
is
wasn't
a win-win is Jay and Beyonce going on tour because
Yeah.
my girl
yeah,
gets to see Beyonce and I get to see Jay, and I feel like that concert, that type of concert is more of a 50-50.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
in 2013, how was Justin at his peak? Was he at his peak?
He was still like pop, like he was still like up there because he had just dropped like it was two albums back to back. It was like Timberland, and then it was another album I think between that. So he was still kind of like
He's doing
highly
That's crazy.
respected, but at the same time, like I was hoping for 50-50, and it just wasn't that. But I got to see public service announcement, which I'm cool with.
Yeah.
As long as he played public service announcement, I was like, all right, I could leave happy, I guess.
I remember Kanye hated that shit. He was like, that suit and tie shit. Ain't nobody feeling that.
Hey, he really said that? I don't remember that at all.
He didn't say it like exactly, but I remember he hated that shit for a little bit. Like,
Hey,
Kanye,
Kanye is straight up G, man. He'll tell you like, hey,
That's hilarious.
Because you know what's funny is that now that Sean mentioned that, I do remember the poster to the tour is a suit and tie.
Yeah.
bro.
You know, and that's when Justin had that single Suit and Tie, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
fun.
it was at the Rose Bowl. It was like a long drive. And
Oh
yeah,
man,
it
shitty ass
just it
venue
was.
too, man. Rose
Yeah, it was
Bowl's
a
so big
terrible
for no
venue to
reason.
have a concert, a hip hop concert at.
That's the Rose Bowl's so big for no reason, I swear.
Yeah. For real, it was like a lot of space between. You know how like they have the floor seats,
Yeah.
and then like bro, it was so much space in between the floor seats and like the stadium seats. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bad experience.
I'm
Like that
sorry.
low key, I think like after that, I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna like I just went on a crazy run of concerts like to make up for it.
We're going.
I went to everything after that. But yeah, Jason, what's your projects?
Oh shit, 2013, man. I was kind of under a rock under that time, but from my shit, I was kind of deep in the underground shit. So let's put some respect on my boy Dom Kennedy and the Yellow album.
Yeah.
Let's get that up there.
I expected that one to come up. I expected that one.
Hey man, nothing wrong with claiming personal favorites, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just a good album. That shit has some summer anthems like, and then like you guys said, Crit, Big Crit was here. Fucking Moon and the Stars, Gumption, the song about the grandma's hand song. Man, that's like those. I think those between the Yellow album and those two, like it was, yeah, there was a constant rotation of that. And then I was slapping people like Mac. I had just started getting into Logic. I remember Nipsey Hussle Tommy Guns. I played
Yeah.
that song like 5 times a day.
I think Nip dropped a couple projects that year.
Yeah, he was dropping.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but good.
Schoolboy Q, I think he had some shit out. It was a lot of those projects, and then Mac Miller too, and the Wasted Youth. I was slapping Wasted Youth a lot by Vince Staples. And then after that, I was still pretty caught up on the roster from the 2010 Double XL cover.
Mm-hmm.
So like everybody, and then Currency, heavy Currency, like who was constantly dropping. So I probably say like it was Pilot Talk, Crit, and Dom Kennedy, the Yellow album. Those was my 3.
Yeah.
Real short.
Yeah, if Dom didn't come up, I was gonna ask you about that.
Bro, yeah, I was dog. Dom Kennedy, yeah, that was my favorite of the time, man.
Yeah.
That nigga chilling.
I learned about Dom at a Pay Dues concert, I think. That's when I became a Dom like listener. Well, I saw him in concert before I even heard any of his stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to listen to him.
Yeah. That shit was cool. You know.
It's funny because
good, Eddie. It's just good music.
Nah, Dom's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Love Dom.
I'm not like heavy on Dom, but like being from the West, you can't do anything but respect Dom and listen to his shit.
I mean, I feel like I'm not too heavy on Dom's new stuff, but I definitely I like transition into like Larry June now.
Yeah.
They kind of give me Larry June gives me the same vibes as like Dom, but honestly, like it's just crazy. I wish like old Dom would come back.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. We even gotta say that now.
Yeah.
Bro, too focused just getting money and
man.
He like signed artists now. He got artists under him, and
that's crazy. Yeah, I want Dom to just give us like you said, that 2013 Dom, you know.
Yeah. I'm still slapping those shits, but I don't know. Maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. But I don't know. That's an interesting person, man. Like, I think he was somebody who was like, "Oh, I'm good at rap, but that's not everything I'm good at." Now he's venturing off and other stuff. So
yeah,
Yellow album.
So what about I'm gonna go into like just a single song that year, and mine I think I gotta go with a cliche pick with Control. That was I think it was that August when Big Sean that's a notable one too. Big Sean dropped I think it was the Finally Famous album with I Don't Fuck With You and all of that. But yeah, he dropped Control. And that's one of those, I think Control is one of those, like, you remember where you were at when you first heard Control?
Yeah. That was a
Yeah.
moment.
I remember like being on Twitter at the time, and that was dropping, and it was like just causing like a little buzz and be like in my little friend circle. And I listened to it a little bit late, and people was like, like, listen to Control. Um, but I remember hearing it and everybody saying like Kendrick killed everybody like on the song, and Big Sean is like going, and I'm like, Kendrick outdid this verse. I'm
Yeah.
like, because at the time, like, Kendrick was like the creative one, but he hadn't really put himself over the top. Like, he had to look out for Detox and the Backseat Freestyle, where like we knew he could go, but he hadn't like put his foot on everybody's neck yet.
Yeah.
And like I remember just hearing that verse, like at first I was like, I can't believe he outdid the Big Sean verse, and then like,
Yeah.
yeah, that shit was just over. Like, everybody spent the whole rest of the year fucking responding to Kendrick's Control verse,
Yeah.
and then like JLX verse is dope as fuck, but nobody remembers it.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared about JLX verse, and JLX verse goes hard. It's crazy, like,
It
to
was
make
one of
that good of a verse be so irrelevant in hip hop history is crazy.
it reminded me of back when like Kobe was playing and like two of the other like T Mac he played the Rockets or some shit. T Mac had 40, but like Kobe had 60.
Yeah, it's like one
And
of
he did
those.
good, bro. But it's like
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
was
that's my song. Huh?
I was gonna say I was more surprised of like I personally didn't think it was that crazy. I was like, oh yeah, he just named him and said he on their neck. But like I was more surprised with the uproar that it created. Like
Yeah, like, to me, I'm with you on that. Like, the names that was the least impressive thing with that verse. It was like, to me, when he said when he was talking about I'm the king of New
New York.
York and king of the coast, both hands I juggle. That was the bar for me. It was like, what New York gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Like, who in New York is gonna do something about it? Like, that was the challenge to me. I thought that was a bigger challenge
Yeah.
for hip hop than like the whole naming everybody off,
Yeah.
because that was just people that he came up with, and he's saying like, I'm setting the bar. These are the people who I expect to meet the expectation. But yeah, and then the Lamar Odom bar, like, yeah, that shit was just. I was
He,
impressed more by the rest of the verse than the name dropping.
yeah. And like the older heads were like breaking it down too. Like I remember seeing like a Vlad interview with Corrupt talking about the
Yeah.
both coast juggling both and ain't nobody gonna touch Kendrick and I was just like, damn, really?
He said my big homie Corrupt took that
Yeah.
shit to heart.
Like niggas want to touch like this nigga K Dot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was just kind of like, to me, I don't know, I look at shit weirdly sometimes, but like from us listening to him for so long before he like got to the masses, and like the concert with when they gave him the crown, and Corrupt
yeah,
and Game and Snoop and Dre, like they're all there and saying like, you next. And then to drop a album like Good Kid, Mad City, where it's like one of the greatest albums of all time,
right.
and then like to put your foot on the neck of everybody who's in your class, like that was just like the culmination for Kendrick to me.
Yeah. Excellent execution. Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Just ruthless.
I mean, that Control is definitely like the obvious one. Yeezus Black Skinhead, man, there's so many songs. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard to just pick one song off of like a whole year. So probably my personal favorite is definitely and you already mentioned this before too, Multi, but Control is definitely the obvious. I think it is the top song of the year. I mean, Kendrick knew what he was doing. He was just, basically claiming his spot and try to get an uproar. And you had so many rappers taking offense to that. And then other rappers like Drake and like J. Cole just kind of said like, oh, it just makes me want to get on top of my game, like,
Yeah.
put the
I was
pressure.
watching sorry not to cut you off, but Punch was on Math Hoffa's what's his podcast and YouTube? My Expert Opinion. And he was saying Kendrick was out the country and he had like very limited Wi-Fi when that song dropped. So he had no clue like what had happened, like the uproar that he caused. And when he came back, the first concert was in New York.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, so check. It's a dope interview.
What do you say the vibe was like over there?
I can't remember in the interview, but he said like everything was cool. Like it wasn't like they wasn't on no like bullshit, but yeah.
The news had hit there.
Yeah. Like this was a couple weeks after. Like he was out there for a couple weeks after it dropped, and like when he came back, he didn't even know like the uproar that he caused in the game.
That's hilarious. Niggas is trying to yell at him in like German and he don't even know what they saying. You fucking the game up. Like they're trying to tell him and he's just, thanks. Yeah. You want a picture? Like that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. What about you, Jason? You got a specific song from that year or?
I agree with you, bro. I think I was searching, my mind was searching, but like I said, I was kind of under a rock around that time, just in all the underground shit. So, but I remember when that song dropped, my head that I popped up like, what was that, nigga? Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, so, I'd probably say Control. Control for a couple years, and then the next year, J. Cole dropped 2024, Forest Hills 2014, and I low key, and I think the reason why I can't really remember a song of 2013 is because I played Forest Hills Drive so fucking much.
Yeah.
I actually bought the physical copy of that one. That was probably the last physical copy I bought, but
it overlaps, huh? It overlaps 2013.
It's like, and I just thought about that right now. I'm like, oh, no wonder, because I was like, something happened later on that year, and I wanted to say the J. Cole album with then does 2014. So so that's so cloudy is for 2013.
Yeah, for sure.